Resource management, wages, and different types of wage payments. Introduction. Employee compensation is a vital part of human resource management. Wages, salaries, and other forms of employee compensation constitute a very large component of operating cost. It is one of the biggest factor influencing industrial relations. As money is the prime need for human beings to meet their basic needs, everyone tries to earn as much money as possible. A clerk earning less than a driver may have a vague grievance, but when he earns less than another clerk of comparable qualifications and experience, he will show his unhappiness more bitterly. This shows that people have the tendency to compare themselves with others who are in a similar profession and or with similar qualifications. What do you mean by wage? A wage is a compensation paid to employees for work for a company during a period of time. The term wages means payments made for the services of labor. A wage is a price which paid by the employer to the worker on account of labor performed. According to Benham, a wages may be defined as a sum of money paid under contract by an employer to a worker for services rendered. What is wage payment? It is the way of giving financial compensation to the workers for the time and effort invested by them in converting materials into finished products. The main purpose of a formal wage and salary management plan is to have a systematic method of payment to ensure that employees receive a fair wage and salary for the work they perform. Difference between wage and salary. Wages refers to money paid on an hourly basis, daily basis, or a weekly basis. Salary refers to a fixed, a regular payment typically paid on a monthly basis. Wages calculated using the number of hours worked. Salary not calculated using the number of hours worked. If a wage earner does not work, he won't receive payment for that day. In salary, workers have a number of paid leaves. Usually, wages earned by unskilled or semi skilled workers. Salaries earned by office workers or management. Wages usually have lower positions and fewer responsibilities. At the same time, salaries for usually have higher positions and more responsibilities. Monetary benefits. Monetary benefits are financial incentives often used by employers to encourage workers to meet their goals. Money, being a symbol of power, status, and respect, plays a major role in meeting a person's social security and physiological needs. Bonus, profit sharing, stock options, vacation time are all called monetary benefits. Non monetary benefits. Non monetary incentives are non cash perks or benefits provided by an employer to an employee. Examples of non monetary incentives include extra time off, work flexibility, and experimental rewards. Other than that, medical facilities, subsidized canteen services, subsidized houses, subsidized transport, recreational and sports facilities, education and training facilities. Types of wages. Four types of wages are there: minimum wage, fair wage, living wage, real wage. First one is minimum wage. A minimum wage is one which has to be paid by an employer to his workers irrespective of his ability to pay. According to the Fair Wage Committee, minimum wage is the wage which must provide not only for the bare sustenance of life but for the preservation of the efficiency of the workers. The Minimum Wages Act of 1948 was established after the end of the British exploitative rule and sought to bring due equality and fairness of pay to the working class. Labor in India is broadly categorized as highly skilled, skilled, semi skilled, and unskilled. The central minimum wages are calculated differently based on the skill and nature of the labor. The next one is fair wage. Fair wage is the wage which is above the minimum wage but below the living wage. The lower limit of the fair wage is obviously the minimum wage. The upper limit is to be set by the capacity of the industry to pay. Thus, fair wage depends on different variables affecting wage determination, productivity of labor, prevailing wage rates in the localities, level of national income and its distribution, place of industry in the economy of the country. At present, the concept of fair wages is followed by the most business organizations. What is the living wage? The living wage is based on the concept that work should provide an adequate income to cover the necessary living costs of a family. Calculated for a family, not a single worker, based on actual expenses in a given community and taxes and government benefits. The motto of many living wage campaigns is to make the minimum wage a living wage. Living wage is voluntary, not legislated. Living wages has been defined differently by different people in different countries. The best definition is given by Justice Higgins, which reads, living wage is a wage sufficient to ensure the workman food, shelter, clothing, frugal comfort, provision for evil days, etc., as regard for the skill of an artisan if he is one. The next one is real wage. The term real wages refers to the wages that have been adjusted for inflation. This term is used in contrast to nominal wages or unadjusted wages. Real wage means that the total amount of things that this can buy is equal to real wage. According to Adam Smith, goods can serve many other purposes besides purchasing money, but money can serve no other purpose besides purchasing goods. It is not for its own sake that men desire money, but for the sake of what they can purchase with it. Money, says the proverb, makes money. When you have a little, it is often easier to get more. The great difficulty is to get that little. Significance of wages. Attract and retain the employees. Builds high morale. Satisfied employees. Clearly drawn the line of promotion, image of progressive employer, harmonious industrial relations, no favoritism or bias. If an organization has a definite wage and salary structure, favoritism bias can be avoided. Next one is different methods of wage payments. Three types of wage payments are there: time rate system, piece rate system, combination of time and piece rate system. The first one is time rate system. Time rate system is the simplest and oldest method of wage payment. According to this system, the workers are paid in accordance with the time spent on job. That time may be on hourly, daily, weekly, fortnightly, or monthly basis. The work or production done by an employee is not taken into consideration. For example, if the worker is paid at the rate of rupees 20 per hour and he spends 50 hours during a week, the weekly payment is calculated as below. Weekly wages is equal to, the formula is number of hours worked during the week into rate per hour, which means 50 into 20 is equal to rupees 1000 per week. The next one is piece rate system. Piece rate system is a system in which wages are paid in accordance with the number of units of work produced. This is independent of time spent on the job. A fixed rate of wages paid for each piece of unit produced. For example, if a worker produced 100 pieces per day and he is paid at the rate of rupees 1.2 per piece, the daily wages 100 into 1.2 is equal to 120 rupees. The next one is combination of time and piece rate system. In this system, both time and product are taken into consideration. The piece rate system is also combined with the time rate system as follows. A job card of each worker is maintained which clearly shows the number of jobs completed by the worker during a week. Payment for each job is fixed in advance. If the piece rate wages earned by the worker are more than time rate wages, the balance is paid to the worker. On the other hand, if piece rate wages are less than time rate wages, then the worker will have to compensate the same by making more pieces during next week. What are the essentials of sound wage and structure? Your wage or pay is the remuneration paid for the service of labor in production periodically to an employee or worker. Wages usually refer to the hourly rate or daily rate paid to such groups as production and maintenance employees, which means blue collar workers. Salary normally refers to the weekly or monthly rates paid to clerical, administrative, and professional employees, white collar workers. The basic purpose of wage and salary administration is to establish and maintain an equitable wage and salary structure. It is concerned with the establishment and maintenance of equitable labor cost structure, that is, an optimal balancing of conflicting personal interests so that the satisfaction of the employees and employers is maximized and conflicts are minimized. The wage and salary administration is concerned with the financial aspect of needs, motivation, and rewards. Employees should be paid according to the requirement of their jobs, that is, highly skilled jobs are paid more compensation than low skilled jobs to minimize the chances of favoritism. The next one is fringe benefits. Fringe benefits are the additional benefits offered to by employers in addition to wages and salaries paid to them. Example, cars, entertainment, facilities, holidays, foreign travel, telephone, etc. Thank you.